I did this big whole thing. I was talking for 20 minutes, and something was going on with the camera. The screen went black twice, and then it's just not there. So, point is, I had gone outside for a little while after the video I taped about an hour ago now, and I dumped some yard stuff, a very little bit, and just brought out some stuff out to the recycle bin. And I came back in and I was shaking, like shaking. And I'm like, I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's nerves or if it was like some pressure from the way I was holding the thing. Anyway, so I was thinking about, as I was out there, I was thinking about what I'm doing over here on this channel, because I already got in trouble for talking about stuff, but there's no point in me talking about nonsense if it's not important. I mean, it may seem that way, but I don't like to talk just to hear myself think, you know what I mean? I want to say something. I want it to be about something, and I what it has turned into. When I originally bought this little dinky webcam for my birthday or whatever, which was only 4 months ago now. Yeah, 4 months. Um, I just I thought I might do reactions because I watch a lot. I really enjoy reaction videos. I like movies and stuff like that, and it wasn't working out for me. I was trying to figure out how to do it, in fact. And when the Capitol riots came that day, I had it. I had been trying to learn how to do everything. I've been trying to learn how to do live streams, trying to figure out how it worked before I did anything. And then when that happened, I thought that was the end of the world. So I'm like, well, I got this webcam. Let me live stream my reaction to the end of all time. And, aliens can come and find it later on. So, didn't end up being the end of the world, but I ended up continuing to react to the current events because I believe it's important. I believe what's going on is important. If I have anything to add or to say, I feel like I need to do that. I feel like it's a responsibility of mine. And even though I thought perhaps when, things happened and I thought I was going to have to carry on in this world and figure out what to do, I thought maybe I move back to New York or maybe I can move to Boston. I intended to be a city person, and I thought, well, maybe if I did that, um, I'd be able to go to movies all the time, like real ones, instead of just what's up at the mall. And I could start a, blog or vlog or something about, just doing movie reviews. Because I used to do my little rinky dink stuff on my live journal with my lists of putting my movies in order every year in order. And then, so I thought maybe I could do something like that if I had to continue on and start over again somewhere else. None of that happened. Then the pandemic happened. Then movies basically got canceled and it was like a totally different world that I know about. I still wish that world was still going and it was good and it was quality and you could look forward to it. I don't know what's happening there. But so far I've made videos about politics, current events, a little bit of gossip, which it's not right. But I originally I wanted to be in my life. I thought I would be a spy. When I wanted to be James Bond, really. But so I had, like I said, I have. I didn't say like I said. I said it in the video that disappeared. Um, my midheaven, if you know what astrology is Scorpio. That's on my 10th house. That's what you're supposed to do for a career. So being a spy wouldn't be the worst thing. But when I was a kid, I thought I wanted to be James Bond. When I found out what a spy really is, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to kill people. I mean, of course, James Bond did, but he was cool about it. And the other things where it's like the Femme Nikita and it all, it's just terrible and tragic. I don't want to do that. And you get used by a government and stuff like that. And I didn't. So by the time I was going to college, when I graduated from high school, the Cold War was over. And I was like, well, I want to be an interpreter because in high school I was very interested in languages. I took French, didn't learn it, but I thought, I want to do that. So it was my intention to major in Russian, which I did. And I took other languages, and I wanted to be an interpreter. Now, I was just going with my instincts, which there was nothing wrong with my instincts. It was going with my instincts and half listening to people that messed me up. But anyway, I did not become an interpreter. Um, and even though I was at NYU, I was not in the film school, but being around those kind of people made me more interested in that world. And being in New York, being able to see celebrities, going in and out of Letterman, or at a big premiere, and I love that stuff. So I'm a fan. I've always been a fan. And so I'm thinking about what I'm doing with this channel, and it's just turning out that I'm talking about movies a little bit. I'm talking about politics over here because it's just natural. That's what I grew up around. That's what I grew up talking about. I've said my whole life I hate politics. I do. I hate politician stuff. I hate phonies. I hate that. But you have to know what's going on, and you have to pay attention, especially at a time like this. You have to pay attention to what's going on. So there's all those current events that I'm, I'm commenting on and everything else. But then there's this whole other fruity side to me that I talked about before that believes in esoteric stuff and astrology and new age. So throughout this past year of being locked in the house and just taking in information and watching YouTube videos and being on Twitter and all this stuff, I've had like this. I want to balance, but it's like three things. It's like, the current events world, what's coming through the television, and then there's this whole other spiritual world that, like I said, I thought the world was going to change, or there was going to be some great awakening, or you know what I mean, on the other politics side, if you want to believe there was going to be a great reset or something. So between these aspects and all these things going on, I feel like I'm one of the people talking about both, or looking at politics through a spiritual lens, or looking at, the movie industry and seeing how it relates to politics, and seeing how all this is affecting us as a species and what it means going forward. And that's where my mind is at. I'm trying to take all this stuff and put it and come up with a formula for what's really going on. And I feel like maybe that's me translating. That's me translating between entertainment and politics and government and how to human. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe that's my purpose with this channel, is to be a kind of translator that takes all these things and interprets it, or bridges a gap. Or I'm not saying I'm wonderful and I can do magical things. I'm just saying that when I watched the spiritual topics and stuff like that, especially this whole past year, they almost encourage you to completely ignore the news and current events so that you can keep your mind happy, to raise your vibration. And I don't think for one second that that's a responsible thing as a human to ignore the world you're in. I know a lot of people. I know people who aren't necessarily that spiritual. They just don't like to watch the news because it upsets them, and they have happy lives because of it. I never was that. I paid attention every step of the way. For the last 20 years or so, as time went on, I got more and more involved locally in terms of going to public meetings, trying to understand how things work, trying to understand what government does and doesn't do, what's wrong with it. So in terms of being a movie fan, I have years and years of experience being a movie fan. I know so many people's careers for so long that they're not like family, but I can't pretend I don't know about them. I don't know their stuff. And of course there's gossip sprinkled in there, but it's not good. But I have that whole aspect. I have a lot of information for a lot of years about the movie industry, even if I wasn't a part of it. And then there's this other part with the current events and politics and the state we're in terms of I just thought of the state of the race from Awards Daily. When I used to go there to talk about movies and Sasha became very political with it, I was like, why? But that's what happened, because it was like I felt like the politics was ruining my experience of being a movie fan. But that's where we're at now. It has blended and it has become one big thing. And so for me, I feel like there's all this 3D world stuff going on where politics and entertainment have blended, and you can't enjoy your favorite celebrities without them telling you why you're a horrible person for who you voted for. And there's all this stuff going on, and it's making the world a certain way, and it's not healthy for any of us. And I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this. I don't know what's going to happen to me tomorrow. I have this feeling, instead of concentrating on myself and my life, I keep feeling like I need to say something, I need to interpret something, I need to be that translator person I meant to be, I guess. I'm just coming to this realization now that that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm looking at all these spiritual videos and pick a cards and astrology things and trying to look at where we're headed. But then I'm also looking at politics and government and this pandemic that we've been in and where we're headed. And the entertainment world sort of is enmeshed in all of that. And I just feel like maybe that's why, maybe just because I've had my nose in all these things for so long, that's what I can bring to the table. If I can bring anything to the table, maybe my dish is disgusting. I don't know, nobody wants to eat it. But I feel like that's what I'm thinking about. Maybe that's who I'm supposed to be right now. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing with this channel. And I got in trouble already for talking about certain things, and that made me question, what am I doing? But it's like, I just, my conscience won't let me ignore things, and I can't lie, and I can't pretend things aren't happening. So if I can't talk about them, I can't talk about them, and they'll shut me down or whatever. But as long as I can, I feel the need to try to come to some understanding or some kind of conclusion about what's happening. And I think, and it may be not rich people or people who have a better standing, I think a lot of us need to heal, not from just what happened in last year, but from how society's been for a long time. And we've had our minds on the wrong things, and it comes from all these different places. And, you know, I'm trying to philosophize while talking about current events and entertainment. And like I said, to me, it's becoming one big stew. And maybe it's a gross stew and nobody wants to hear it, but I feel like that's what I need to do. And I need to look at everything as one big world that we all live in, where we're all influenced by the media and film and celebrity culture and social media and all these things. And I'm not going to pretend like, oh, I'm above talking, trash about this one, or I'm above, I'm not. So, but still, I try to be better, and I try to see the other side. It's so hard. So maybe this is how I should have been a diplomat. Maybe this is how I could have bridged a gap. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just going to keep making videos as it comes to me. I'm going to follow my intuition. I hope I don't get in too much trouble. I hope I don't, well, if I get erased, I get erased. But, as long as I can do this, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow to me or anybody else. And I'm just going to keep making videos as they come. I know they're too long. I'm going to try to be more brief. If anything gets taken down, I'll try to put it on another platform. But that's what I'm thinking going forward. Like, a meteor could hit me, a dinosaur could come bite my face off. I could, have a stroke. Who knows what's going to happen? I hate to say what I'm going to do. I hate, because whether it's a jinx or I feel, personally, I don't even want to call it jinx. I'm like, don't tell God what's going to happen. Because he will be like, oh, really? You thought you were doing that tomorrow? Watch this. So that's why I don't like to plan. I don't like to say what I'm up to. But yeah, so for some reason I felt like I needed to say that. That's an update on who I am and what I'm doing, I think, with this channel.